Hi. Hi. I flew here from Canada. I like planes, but I hate sitting beside people because they're weirdos on planes. This happened to me one time. I was flying somewhere for some shows, and the guy beside me on the plane started up a conversation. He's like, "Hey, where are you flying to?" And I was like, "Same place as you. We're on a goddamn plane. I don't..." And he's like, "Well, what are you going there for?" And I said, "I'm going for work." And he said, "Well, what do you do?" And I said, "I'm a comedian. I have some shows." And this is what the guy actually said to me. He said, "Yeah, I bet you some people think that's cool. But wait till you hear what I do. I don't care," right? And he's like, "I own a website. I make so much money from my website that I will be able to retire by the age of 42. Don't even know his name yet." And that's what he said to me. But then he jerked it up even more. He goes, "Do you have anything funny to say about that, Mr. Comedian?" I was like, no, I don't. "I do, however, hope you die at 41. In fact, this whole plane has to crash and we all have to die just to make sure you don't make it to 42. I'm okay with that. I got called white boy a few years ago, which I am. I'm not trying to slide anything past anybody here. I'm very much a white boy. But I got called white boy by another white boy, which was weird. I was drinking one night in Toronto, in Canada, and I guess this guy had nothing better to do as I waited for a late night bus than to start yelling at me from across the street. He's like, "Hey, white boy, it's not safe for you in this neighborhood, white boy. Why don't you walk back home to your white boy neighborhood?" To which I said, "But you're a white boy," which apparently offended him for some reason, because he's like, "Do you want me to come over there and kick your ass?" And I was like, no, I don't. Because you're a white boy, I think we just established it's not safe for you over here. Just as I said that, the bus pulled up, and the driver, who was black, heard the whole thing. He just fist bumped me. He's like, "You're pretty funny for a white boy." This is nice. I'm glad you guys are all immigrants to Finland, because I've been walking around for 2 days feeling like the fattest man in the world, and it's nice to have some other fat people here. I got my back waxed a few years ago. Has any guy in here ever gotten their back waxed? A woman, okay, yeah. No, you don't want to see my back, dude. That's the weirdest heckle I've ever got. Someone asked me to take my shirt off. If there is a guy in here thinking about getting your back waxed, don't. It hurts. Just go in the sauna with a hairy back. Nobody cares, right? Because it hurts. It really hurts. I told one of my female friends about how much it hurts. She's like, "I don't want to hear about it. We women have it way worse. I have to get my vagina waxed." I was like, "I totally understand. If your vagina is as big as my back, I don't want to hear about that either." Actually, that's not true. I want to hear all about your giant vagina. I want to know everything. I'm the baby of 7 children. Yeah, here's the weird thing with my family. Everybody in my family, our first name begins with the letter D. There's my parents, Dave and Doris. Then from oldest to youngest, there's Debbie, Donna, Deanna, David, Darian, Douglas, and me, D-Accident. And one time I asked my mom how that ever happened, how we all get names with the letter D, and my mom's response was weird. She's like, "It was just a coincidence." It's like, "Just a coincidence, Mom, why don't you be honest? You're too busy having sex to turn the page in their big book of baby names. Like, close your legs, open a book, woman, is what I'm trying to say." And then I asked my dad, he's like, "What can I say? Your mom loves the D." And I was like, I can tell you what you shouldn't say, you goddamn weirdo. Pornography, it gets a bad reputation, but if it wasn't for pornography, I wouldn't know how to spell the word amateur. It's EU, just, because that's where the best porn comes from, the EU. But the weird thing is I kind of learned to read because of pornography in a weird way, which is true. Because my mom only read romance novels, which I don't know if you guys read romance novels in Europe, but that's just porn for moms. That's all it is. And that's all my mom would read was these romance novels. So I'd pick up these books when I was a little kid and I'd try to learn words by reading these romance novels, which became terrible because I started to learn words, but I didn't even know what they meant, and I would try to use them in sentences. And I was the only kid in school saying things like, hey, I'll trade you this thrusting turkey sandwich for your throbbing ham and cheese. I got married a few years ago, and yeah, thanks, it's not gonna last. We're very different people, my wife and I. She is the vice president of a corporation. Yeah. Thanks. And I'm telling jokes about the size of women's vaginas, so we're very different. This is how different we are. One time I sent her a text message, and all I asked was, how is your day going? And this is honestly what I got back, word for word. She said, I'm having a bit of a rough day. I have a big proposal due this afternoon. My team isn't giving me any help. And if we don't get this done, our company's going to lose a $4 million US sale. And then she finished the text with, how's your day going? And I literally responded, amazing. I bought a hat. And I used your credit card to pay for it. So, yeah, we're doing it. I love you guys. I really love you guys. Okay, I'm going to tell you one more story. You guys are a lot of fun. If you guys want to go for drinks, that was scary. My wife and I, we look after some dogs. They're owned by her friend. They're not just random dogs. We look after their friends' dogs. But you can tell they're her friends because her friends are successful in life. They have a nice house that's on a lake with an Olympic-sized swimming pool. They have a hot tub that sits 14 people. They're probably swingers. But whenever they go away, we look after their dogs. And last summer, we were looking after their dogs. And one morning, I woke up at 5 a.m. because there were coyotes howling outside. And I looked out, and there were 4 coyotes in their backyard, just behind their house. I don't think you guys have coyotes here. They're mean. And so I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. They have these coyotes, right? So I'm watching them, and like, they have a better view from upstairs. So I went upstairs. They have this patio overlooking their backyard. And I'm watching these 4 coyotes running around in their backyard. I was like, this is pretty cool. And all of a sudden, all 4 coyotes stopped. And they all turned, and they looked in the same direction. I was like, well, what's happening, right? And I looked over. There's a woman walking a tiny little dog, and she's walking it right to the 4 coyotes, and she doesn't see them. Yeah, and the 4 coyotes are like, oh, our Uber Eats is here, right? And I'm like, well, I gotta do something. So I yell, look out for the coyote! And the woman just stopped, and she stared at me really oddly. I was like, well, this is weird, but she's not doing anything. I could see the coyotes still making their way to her dog, and she's not. I'm like, look out for the coyote! And the woman is still not moving. She's just staring at me. I'm like, this is really, really weird. So I yelled a third time, look out for the coyote! And then the woman just sort of bent down without breaking eye contact and picked up her dog and ran away. I was like, that's really weird. That was a really weird reaction. And then as I was walking in the house, I caught my reflection in the door and realized I was completely naked. This poor woman's just taking her dog for a walk at 5 a.m, and all she sees is a fat, naked guy yelling, look out for the coyote. Like the coyote is some kind of nickname I gave myself, right? So look out for the coyote! Here comes the coyote! You want to run with the coyote? Anyway, that's how I told the story to the police. And I gotta go. And you guys have been so much fun. Thank you. You're gonna love the rest of the show. Thank you.